This is the President McCormack Podcast with your host, Mark McCormack.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Malae.
Hey.
I said it right.
Yeah, you said it right.
I was just joking that I was going to say it wrong, and I always question it.
You'd have to say my middle name so it works.
Well, exactly. So first question. Give me your full God-given from your parents' name.
So Alan, or Alenian Samoan, Ati Malala Malae, Afuvai Malae. So a lot of vowels.
I know. I went to Hawaii a couple of years ago, and I didn't even attempt words there.
Dude.
Bro. All my brother-in-laws and people I'm with try to we're over at blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, just send me a pin.
Just send me a pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the street names are like 100 syllables. I'll sit there, I'll be driving, and I'll just say the words like, Ohana, drive. I'll just drive and say all the words, just practicing my pronunciation. But
that's good for you.
Yeah, drives people crazy.
Yeah. So a fun question I like to ask people, how do we know each other?
Dude, we met in Moab in the first We Are the They Ludus retreat. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was just kind of scanning the room because I had joined literally just a few days before. I didn't really know what We Are the They was at the time. And so I show up and I'm pretty good in social situations, but this is kind of different. I was like, there's a bunch of homies here, a bunch of studs, do I belong? It's like, these guys are awesome. And then, I'll always scan the room for I don't know, I've just done it forever. Guys that look like they can hang, Yeah. And the first two people I saw were you and Ryan. I'm like, man, those guys are ginormous. I was like, oh, dude, I gotta introduce myself. We probably have some things in common.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember seeing you. I was like, oh, stud. It's like he's giant.
Dude, my first memory of you is just giving you a freaking big hug, dude.
Yeah.
And that's just you, right? I mean, every time you go in a room, it's just like Alan, dude, freaking ball of energy, right?
Yeah. Dude, I remember that hug. That was a good hug.
Yeah. They're always a good hug with me, man.
Yeah, dude. You may be the one person that's unequivocally a better hugger than I am.
That's funny.
We gotta have a hug off next time.
Exactly, dude. We'll line up 10 randoms and we'll have to go in the dark, In
the dark.
We're okay, there you go. Bring it in.
Just in the dark. We'll play some music. Christmas.
What's life without stuff like that?
Dude, nothing, bro. It's like
I'll be on a podcast in 10 years being like, yeah, I met these freaking dudes, this Polynesian guy and this huge ass white dude, and they just wanted to hug me in the dark.
It was
I don't even know what I was doing.
Yeah, I wrote about it in my journal. It's super awkward all these years later, but I liked it.
Yeah, exactly. Then I had a survey of 10 questions. It's like, holy crap.
Oh, man.
So, Moab, man, what a weekend, dude.
Yeah, Moab was nuts.
What did you like about that weekend?
I liked what a surprise it was. I've been friends with Jimmy for years, going up to that. So I've kind of seen the evolution as he was putting this thing together and building it, and we'd have a bunch of conversations. But I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I'd seen it on social media a little bit. And so I knew it was something that I wanted to join, just for me and also to support Jimmy. But what I liked most was I was just shocked. I didn't realize from the outside, even as Jimmy's close friend, I didn't know what he was building. And I was blown away by the quality of the individuals there. And then probably what I liked the most is just almost the community that everyone formed so fast. We were so vulnerable with each other. Just every exercise that was given us for us to do, everyone's like, well, F it, I'm here. I'm jumping in 100%, and everyone jumped in 100%. And because of that, we formed these bonds, almost these familial bonds in one night. And then that kind of carried us throughout the weekend. So that's probably what I liked the most. I still think about it. It was a life-changing trip.
Yeah.
I've been on a lot of life-changing trips, and that's right up there, maybe the most.
Yeah, that was a goodie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a weird week. our weekend, I guess I should say. You know, we're down in Moab. We're meeting so many freaking new dudes, and you know, I have this persona that I'm big energy. People are kind of attracted to that, right? And they just kind of.
I'm attracted to you.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And I attracted to you.
Thank you. Let's hug in the dark later.
Yeah. But you know, you go down there and it's like there's so many names you got to remember, and everyone's introducing themselves to.
Oh yeah.
And bro, I'm just like, it's like so overload for me, dude. I almost got to the point in the first like couple hours where I was like, okay, dude, like you've got to learn these dudes' names. You know what I mean? So I kind of do this ranking system in my head sometimes when I go to big events. It's just like, well, I'm going to know 5 dudes. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? I'll get to know them real well. And then if I miss anybody, then I'll just have to eat some crow and just be like, yeah, I remember you there, but you gotta remind me your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'll build after that, because if not, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
You know, and down there, man, it was like, I think I got, you know, I probably got half the names by the end of it or something like that. But I don't know. How many guys do you think you like knew by the time you left?
Sorry about my phone. I don't know. I probably had. I knew a lot of the guys there already, but there's probably 4 or 5 guys that I started to get to know a lot more.
Yeah.
And then, but even those guys, I didn't remember everyone's names at first because I met so many people. So I was on the Zoom calls the next week, just like trying to put names to faces and memorize, you know, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You know what I mean? But I'm fantastic with faces and horrible with names, so it's taken me a while to learn everybody's names. You know, the truth's out there, but
dude, here's the reality. Everyone feels the same way.
Okay, good.
We're all doing the same crap, right? We're just like, oh, freak, we're on the call today. I don't know what anyone's saying. So one of the first Zoom calls I was on, I went through and just followed as many guys as I could find on Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's helped a lot.
Because I'm like, oh, this will be good. I'll start seeing their face and their name, and then I'll start like, you know. The problem is some of those dudes are like me. Like mine's President McCormack, right? It's my handle, right? So now everyone's like, oh, President McCormack. And I'm like, oh, you know me through Instagram. You know, that's how you know me. So some of these guys, you know, they're kind of like, you know, hip hop daddy, you know, and I'm just like, oh, what's this dude's name?
When I first saw your Instagram, I was like, is he a stake president? Is that what's going on here? I like it. That's what I thought. I was like, yes. And then I realized what it was. But
dude, so when I started my Instagram, here's like the true story of it. So I had these friends that were teasing me because they're like, I was involved in a couple of different businesses. Like, well, what are you doing with that one? I'm like, I'm the president. I'm the president, right? Yeah. And they're like, you're like the president of every company you get into. And I'm like, well, that's because I'm OCD and insane. I have to have control. You know what I mean? And then it was kind of this whole thing. And so I kind of was late to the social media thing because I got married early, right? I've been married for almost 18 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so.
Beautiful family, by the way, bro.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. And so yeah, I just thought it'd be funny. There's people that, you know, they call each other king and queens. You know, that's my queen, that's my king. Yeah. Which, by the way, is, you know, you'll be divorced in a year once you start pulling that shit.
It's so true. Oh, this my queen.
Yeah.
Oh, he's my king. Come on, guys. Chill the F out.
Who are you fooling?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
So I think the first one I did was King McCormack because I thought that'd be freaking funny. Right? Just be the king. And then I'm like, screw it, I'll just put President McCormack, right?
I like it.
And I'm kind of a guy, once you do it once, you're done, right? Like, why rethink this a million times? And so, which is why my podcast is called the President McCormack Podcast. And most people, so if you're from Utah, right, most people think it's like, president of the church or president of the quorum or something like that. Yeah. Outside of that, or outside of the Mormon culture, right, everyone thinks it's political. You want to be the president of the United States one day? And I'm like, no.
Can you imagine?
Never, ever, ever do I want to be president.
Can you imagine?
No. Instantly half the country hates you because they're brainwashed.
Yeah.
And the other half loves you because they're brainwashed.
Yeah.
No thanks. No one actually listens to your positions. No one actually cares. Yeah.
No.
They're going to get all wrapped up in abortion and vote Democrat or Republican. Every 4 years, you freaking sheep. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's the story behind that. But
cool.
Yeah, dude, if it wasn't for Zoom and everyone's names being on there, dude, I would still have to learn a couple dudes' names.
Oh, me too. Because some guys they're a little bit more introverted, you know, they hang back, you know. And I always try to seek the wallflowers out a little bit, you know. But man, when you're doing things like jumping off cliffs or, you know, freaking carrying rocks 10 miles, like there's so much emotion going on.
Yeah.
Like it's not an overload, but like remembering people's names is a lot harder to do.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's one of the funny things, right? It's like we go down there and it's action packed, right? We never stop, we never sleep, which I kind of like.
We never sleep. Right? We never sleep.
Like so when we were in Iceland, right?
Yeah.
Like, bro, we slept like 3 hours every night.
Oh, dude,
the first night
that.
we pull up, it's like 10 o'clock at night, you know, because we had been traveling all day, right? So we're like dabbing everyone up. Oh, what the hell's up, man? We're in Iceland.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Holy shit, what's your name? Who are you? If I'm from the first group, blah, blah, blah. So then we go out, we're like, the Northern Lights are out. So we're out there looking at the Northern Lights, which is the only night we saw them, by the way.
Really?
And I was there for 10 days.
Oh, wow.
Just too stormy. So we saw them the very first night. They're amazing.
Are they as cool as they look?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's on the bucket list.
Bananas. It's almost like watching Guardians of the Galaxy. You know,
really?
It's like kind of that like spacey, colory, you know.
Oh, dude. I'm in.
But so, you know, we're out there, we're doing that. We go back in, we're kind of eating, you know. Jimmy had gotten us some pizza because some of us were really late, you know, just because we flew from New York. Some people flew from Seattle, right? And so then we're sitting there and like this one, I don't know who it was, but they're like, hey guys, there's a club here. And we're like, a club? Like a dance club? They're like, yeah, dance club. Like it's only open Friday and Saturday. And that was Friday.
Oh,
right?
hell yeah.
And so we were like, let's go. It was like midnight, right? So we go to this club so there's 39 dudes there. And I want to say 18 to 21 of us went to this club. And it was so much fun, bro.
Dude,
we were there till like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Thing closed at like 4:30. And you know Jimmy, right? We're leaving at 7. You know what I mean? He doesn't care. No one cares. I'm like, I don't even know what time zone I'm in.
He's like, I planned this trip and we're doing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like...
Sorry, that's a bad impersonation, Jimmy. Sorry.
But yeah, so yeah, we stayed. I think I went to bed about 3:30 in the morning, you know, and then every night it was just like we're getting up and we're just you're kind of being a zombie for a minute, but then you're driving somewhere freaking awesome. And
yeah, and then
I mean, I love it.
The adrenaline, dude. That's the only way to travel, man. It's just like, because I mean, we'll sleep when we're home. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I remember I went to Spain with a good friend of mine, and we just. I couldn't not, like he'd want to go to bed early, which is totally fine. But I was like, man, I got to experience the nightlife of Greece or Spain or, you know what I mean? Like and I would go out and just have the time of my life and get to see the city, interact with the locals, have my own adventures. In fact, I almost got mugged. Actually, I did get mugged. I don't know what
constitutes as
I don't know what constitutes as a mugging. So it's New Year's Eve. I'm in Barcelona. And it is they have this town square that's amazing. This ball drops. Europeans know how to party far better than Americans.
Yeah.
No, but you know we're still better. Sorry, sorry, Matt.
Oh, he's not British. He's from Alabama.
Oh, fair enough. So anyway, the huge celebration in the middle of the square ends. We go to this nightclub to go dancing with some just a bunch of people we met randomly, and. You know, it's hot. So I was like, I want to go out for a walk and just get some air, you know? So I'm walking down these beautiful cobblestone streets, you know, just the most European thing ever. And I'm walking and I see this, I stick out like a sore thumb in Europe. I'm a big brown dude, you know, weird facial features, you know? And so I'm walking down the road and this guy comes up and he sees me and he's like, oh, Americano. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from America, you know. And he comes up and he gives me the biggest hug, you know, and a high five, and, you know. And I can get by with broken Spanish in like Latin America.
Yeah.
Spain, I can't. It just the accent's too different. And so we're just kind of just like high fiving and just vibing for like 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I go. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know. And he gives me another hug. And then, but we're not really communicating because of the language barrier. And then as he's hugging me, I've got my travel wallet and I'm like, it's Velcro to my body and, you know, like nobody's stealing this thing. And I feel his hand grab it and yank it and rip the Velcro, you know? And I'm like, oh, this dude's robbing me. And so immediately, like, I like go into football mode and I slam him up against the wall. And I pick him up by his neck and I hold him up in the air like he's dangling like inches off the ground. And in this moment, I realize, oh wait, this dude's not gonna understand anything I say. And so I literally like a toddler. I'm just like, no. And then I felt so stupid. I was like, and I let him down, and he realized I probably shouldn't mess with me, and he ran off. I was just like, well, there you go, I got mugged, but.
Attempted mugging.
Yeah, but that's all I could say was no. I was like, I wanted to like say some cool line like Clint Eastwood, but no, it just was like no.
I will beat your ass.
I was just like,
So how long ago was that?
oh, dude, this was 2009, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, a while back. I've been a bunch. I've been to a lot of places all over the world, but Spain was a while ago. Love Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what a cool place.
So what are the countries you've been to?
So I've been to New Zealand. I've been to Israel. I've been to Jordan. I've been to Morocco. I'll talk about a cool place. My mom was actually born in Morocco.
Okay.
Yeah, her dad was in the Air Force and stationed out there. I've been to Haiti. I went to Haiti with Jimmy, actually.
Was that humanitarian down to Haiti or for fun?
A little both. You know, we went and helped, spent some time at an orphanage with some kids, and then we kind of went around and kind of met with some of the Mormon members of the church down there, and just, you know, dude, I've been to a lot of third world hellholes around the country, but I've never seen anything like Haiti. Yeah. It was something else.
I've only stopped there on a cruise, which doesn't count.
It kind of counts.
Yeah.
It's true. It doesn't count.
No, we didn't see anything,
dude. Yeah. We were driving. We had a guide with us, and we had like this van that we would all sit in, and van/bus thing, and we were just getting hyped, you know. But we just happened to be driving through a really bad part. I mean, we're talking slums, people living in gutters, like. You can't even call them shanties because they weren't even that, you know, and they went for miles. And we didn't know we'd driven into it because we were like just dancing, goofing off, having a good time. And the guy's like, he's like, my friends, you need to stop, like, not here, you know, like they'll attack us, you know. And so we're just like, oh, hey. But yeah, I've seen some things there that I mean, just abject poverty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how they survive. I don't know how they eat. There was one lady we went to, you know, there's this mountain where so I could be wrong, but I guess voodoo started, black magic started in Haiti. And there's this mountain where all these witch doctors kind of started it, you know, and there's a dark feeling there, you know, in a lot of parts of the country, which is not something that I experienced in other places. Yeah. You know, usually there's some light in the people's eyes, even if they're struggling and poor, you know what I mean? But it wasn't in Haiti. But this girl had a vision of a tree in a place, and she wanted to start this school, and so she went and started this. She went. It was not Haiti on a trip, and she saw the same tree in her vision, and she built a school there, and like they do dental care and medical care and schooling for kids, and it's just that was different. That was like, okay, there's good things happening here, you know. Yeah. So, but it was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. Was it scary?
We stayed in a hotel behind a wall, you know, and there was a lot of security, so we felt pretty safe. But there were a couple of times, you know, and we were walking around the neighborhood, and some neighborhoods where they were decent, kind of around where the LDS church was. Mm-hmm. And so we never felt endangered too many times, but I was very aware that if we had ventured away from the places we were supposed to be, like, it probably wouldn't have been good for us. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a little nuts. When I was in Israel, I've had many scary things happen to me. Because I try to stay super safe because I want to come home, you know.
That'd be nice.
It'd be nice. But there's certain times when you're just like, man, I'm not in America, you know. And I remember we got our taxi cab driver, the most abrasive individual ever, you know, and he gave us a ride around for day one. We're like, we can't do it with this guy. But then day two, we just happened to run into him again. And we're like, why not? You know, he's like, hey, we want to go to Bethlehem, but Bethlehem was on the other side. It was, I believe it's in Palestinian controlled territory. And yeah, he had to sneak us over with a contact. He took the Israeli flag out. You know, there's the big wall. There's armed guards walking around everywhere. Armed guards walking around through Bethlehem. We're just like, geez. You know, there's some And then, you go and you study the history and everything that's going on. It's just like, this is a real part. This is a real thing I'm in. Like, you just really mind your P's and Q's and kind of just try to make good decisions. And
did you make it to Bethlehem?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah. Doesn't look anything like it does in the Christmas pictures. It's mountainous and hilly and beautiful. And
is it beautiful?
Oh, it's beautiful. Everything. The coolest thing about Israel, besides it being the Holy Land and everything there, is everything is so old. So we went to the Garden of Gethsemane, which was, mind blowing. Just weak in the knees. The power of that place is off the charts. We actually got to the Garden of Gethsemane late, and they were closing it was like this priest monk guy, and he's closing the gate, and we just like, oh, and he looks over and sees us. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't let you guys in. We've closed it, and we just, all of us just kind of collectively went, and he like literally took a mercy on us. Like, he's like, oh wait, I'm a Christ-like individual, Yeah. He's like, if I let you guys in, do you promise that you'll pray? And we're like, yep, we'll pray, and he lets us in. But so we ended up walking around the garden, and then when they closed it and we all had to leave, we just started walking, exploring, and we came across this graveyard, and we found these graves thousands of years old, and it's like humbling. It's like, man, this is all that stuff that was written about. It happened. It's here. You know what I mean? And it's that's why I love traveling. You learn. There's so much more out there beyond yourself and your world and stuff like that. But yeah, there's some crazy situations if you're not careful.
How was the food in Israel?
Fantastic. We we just walk around until we got hungry. That's kind of what we do. What I do. I'll just explore. Some days I'll have a plan. I like days that I don't have a plan, because then like the unknown is always fun. But when you're in Jerusalem, so we spent most of our time in Jerusalem, and it's split up into separate quarters, like the Muslim quarter, Christian quarter, so on and so forth, Jewish quarter, and Jerusalem looks exactly like what you think it would look like. The cobblestone roads. It's like in the movies, and then you're walking around, and then suddenly you see these little literal hole in the wall places that are serving food. And you're like, and you just, let's go. And everything's made from scratch, from recipes probably handed down through thousands of years, and the food is outrageous. We had a lot of bread, and I actually lost weight. Don't ask me how.
A lot of bread, huh?
Yeah, they have this.
It's like non-leavened bread, like pita bread stuff?
It's a lot like that, yeah, exactly like that.
Interesting. What spices do they use?
I couldn't tell you, but I know, because a lot of those spices are permeated from country to country, and I know they all have their individual spices, but I don't quite remember. But
because it's a lot of like flavored meats and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Flavored meats and like shawarma, and where they put all the meat onto a metal stick, and they rotate it around the fire. They cut it off and give it to you, and it's just amazing. Morocco had the best spices. They actually had a spice bazaar. And I have a picture, and they have just mounds. So like they have the container holding the spice, and then the spice will go up, a foot above, and it's just, oh man, that place Morocco's cool. Felt like James Bond, like welcome to Tangier, Mr. Bond. But
so what did you do in Morocco? What did it explore?
Oh man, so we were in Marrakesh. So Marrakesh is. In Indiana Jones, when he goes to that market, he's running around and getting chased, and he shoots that guy. That's Marrakesh. Like there's music, there's food vending everywhere, and it's just, you feel like you're in an Indiana Jones movie. It's beautiful. I just random memory that came back. I made friends with two Moroccan girls that live there, and it's like there's French influence. Yeah, yes.
Moroccan girls.
I got game, No, I don't. I'm sorry. One night they're like, "Hey, you guys should come dancing with us," And then we were with one of our friends from Argentina. Her name is Marcella, and my buddy went to bed, Gentry, and then we we ended up going to dancing. And Morocco is definitely a third world country, you know, but we showed up to this club, I think it was called the Apple Club or something, and it was bigger and better than anything in Las Vegas. And it was so out of place, you know, but so I go, and I love to dance just because I do. And, you know, Marcela's from Argentina, she loves to dance. And so the whole club, there's drummers spinning around, drumming upside down, there's lights. I mean, it really is like better. It's like the Wynn in Las Vegas, but better. Yeah. And dude, I mean, you know, you talk about everything that's going on in Iran right now. Like, we're dancing, and there's all the women there. It's one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had. All the women there, you can see them just trying to dance and really get into it, and they're watching me and Marcella like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, wow, and then, but they can't really. It's almost like all those years of being oppressed. They couldn't quite shake it off, even though they were free to do so. Yeah. You know, and so it was almost like that mental conditioning was holding them back a little bit. You know, and it was really fascinating to see. Even the girls that I knew, you know, and we stayed in touch for probably 10 years after I was there. Oh, okay. You know, we still stay in touch a little bit, but it's always interesting to see Western culture and whatever other culture, depending on what country you're in, kind of mesh. Yeah. You know, because it's not seamless. Right. You know, so yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, that's way cool.
Yeah.
So when you were like going to the markets, do you have like coins with you to buy stuff, or did you use? So you're not using credit cards, right?
No. We would just we would go to an ATM, and then we'd put our cards in, and they would just like we'd pull out $20 American and get like 500 Moroccan dollars. You know what I mean? So and then we would just go there, and we'd never carry that much though. We'd definitely get robbed. Yeah. So yeah, the goal is just to not be, you know, be as inconspicuous as possible. And
oh, sweet! I can't wait to go.
I know you're.
I'll have to put a beard on.
Yeah, dude. That is giant white man.
Yeah. I'm not from America.
No, I'm not from. I'm down the
here.
street.
Yeah. No, I was in France a couple of years ago with two buddies, and I was wearing a Seahawks hat, you know, and just, you know, I probably had a hoodie on and whatever the freak, you know what I mean? It's just, there's nothing about me that doesn't scream American until I go to Scotland, and then they're like, oh, you're kind of Scottish, right? And I'm like, yeah, kind of Scottish, you know what I mean? But really, I'm American, you know, just freaking big, muscly. Yeah. I don't know if I'm particularly loud. I mean, I can get loud, you know, but like.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
Try and be kind of, you know, when you go to other countries, you know, you try and, you know, blend in a little.
Sure.
Bit. But like, I couldn't go 10 steps in Paris without someone going, American. Be like, boom, yep. You know what I mean?
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. They'll just like, they're so, you don't know if they're excited to see you or they're just like excited to point you out. You know what it is.
Or both.
Yeah.
No, we sat down in Ernest Hemingway's cafe.
No way.
The one he'd go to all the time or something like that, right?
Yeah.
My one buddy was all about going there, right?
Cool.
And so we go in there and like, have you been to France yet?
I haven't been to France yet. I need to.
I don't love Americans. I'll put it that way. Right? And so I think they're okay with Americans.
It's like the Greeks.
Yeah. But I don't think the French really like anybody. That's kind of like the joke in Europe, right? They're just
fair enough.
French are French, you know?
Yeah.
But so we go there, and like this pretty waitress comes up, you know, and she can tell we're American, you know, we're talking in English, you know, all this kind of stuff. I kind of see her like, I don't know, like just kind of be like a tourist. And I was like, bonjour, you know? And she like, it caught her off guard, right? She looked at me, she kind of like smiled and laughed a little bit. She was like, oh, okay, you know. You guys are fun. You know, at bare minimum, you're annoying Americans, but at least you're kind of fun. Yeah. And I was like, you speak English? You know, and she's like, oui, you know. I'm like, okay. And then, you know, we ordered some food, and then she was cool to us the whole time. But cool. Like, you know, I always try and do something like that. Like in Mexico, my favorite thing to do, if I find someone who's fun, right, is I just go, hey, could you get me a Drinko and a burrito and a freaking taco, you know, and like some more avocado? And they're just like, you know, just laughing. Like I put an O on every single thing I say down there, you know. And so, but Mexicans, they normally love that stuff, dude. And they're just like, oh, this big white guy having fun, you know?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's, you're braver than I am. But I blend a little bit more in those countries, like in Mexico.
Yeah.
They're like, they'll just come start talking Spanish to me. I'm like, well,
no speako Spanish.
It's just like, and nobody knows what Samoan is, you know?
Yeah.
So I just go, Hawaii. And they're like, oh, hey.
Yeah. You like to surf?
Yeah. I've been offered coconuts in Mexico so many times. Like, Hawaii? Coconuts? And they'll like try and sell me coconuts. I'm like, yes.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Of course. I love coconuts and pineapples. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah. Dude, I've got a pineapple at my house right now that was in Hawaii 3 days ago.
Oh, no way.
My brother got them overnighted yesterday.
Oh, dude.
And so last night I was cutting them up. I actually burned my tongue a little bit because I ate so much of it. The citrus like burned the top of my
Really?
tongue. Yeah. Oh, it's so freaking good.
Worth it.
So,
have you ever had white pineapple?
No.
Oh, bro.
Never even heard of it.
Oh, man. So when I lived in Hawaii just a few years ago, shout out to my buddy Jeff. He has this 3-acre fruit farm, and he was growing probably like 100 pineapples on just on his land. You know, why not?
Yeah.
And then he starts telling me, he's like, oh, these are white pineapples. I was like, I've never heard of those. I was like, where are they? He's like, dude, they're just better. So they finally grow up and we pick them, you know, we let them sit for a couple of days so they can ripen, and then we cut them out. I'm like, what makes these so special? He's like, it's got they're a little bit sweeter than pineapple, but it doesn't have the citrus. It doesn't have the sour. It's just sweet. And then the flesh is softer, and you can even eat the core, you know, and dude, it's so much better than a regular pineapple, and regular pineapples are so good. Like, dude, I'll get you one.
Oh, give me one.
We got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are outrageous. Yeah. When they're out of season now, but when they're in season next year, I'll have Jeff send me a couple, and yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah. Did your buddy Jeff live out there?
Yeah. Yeah. He's living the dream out there. He's got his farm, and you know, and his lady and his daughter and his 2 dogs, and you know, and just got his Airbnbs, you know, and just killing it.
Oh, is that what he's doing out there?
Yeah, he's got a few properties out there that he's working on.
I heard they're shutting that down in Hawaii.
It's different island to island. Oahu's a lot more shut down than Big Island is.
Yeah.
So, which is good. They don't do sweeping things.
Yeah.
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 How many times have you been to Hawaii?
Once.
When?
I think it was May of 2019.
Really? Where'd you go?
Oahu. Went to North Shore.
What'd you do out there?
So we went to the beach a lot.
Uh-huh.
It's a long way to go for a beach.
Yeah.
Fantastic beach.
Yeah.
No, we my in-laws took us, the whole family out there.
Okay.
So my wife's grandfather had passed away, and when my mother-in-law got her inheritance, part of that was she just has always wanted to take her whole family to Hawaii.
Cool.
And so obviously I was like, yep, let's go. Whenever you want to go, let's go.
Dude, that's legit.
And so we did the beach a lot, you know, we did a little bit of hiking. You know me and hiking, whatever. I really love hiking. So, you know, we hit a lot of, we went to the LDS temple out there, which is cool. We had a family picture taken out there. I was in all white.
Cool. Oh, dude.
I was the only one in the family in all white.
Doesn't get much sexier.
I just thought it'd be like my little funny thing, right? I'm all white shorts, white shirt, you know?
Yeah.
We went to Seven Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I think we went there twice, actually.
They got a place in Provo now.
Oh, do they? I know they have one in Lehigh.
Yeah. Oh, is it in Lehigh too? Maybe they opened up another. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're,
I hope they open up 100 more.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're really good. They're better on the island, though.
They are.
Yeah. It's got that feel, right? It's got that feel of like our family's owned this shack for 35 years, so enjoy our food, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
I'll tell you one thing that I cannot replicate over here that I want is ginger lemonade.
Oh.
Dude, that is so good. There was this so we were up in the hills a little bit, right, at the Airbnb, because we needed one for like 25 people.
Yeah.
So as we were coming down, right when we get down to like the main roads that go around the whole place, there was some food carts there, and we'd hit it up all the time. So it was like a fish fry one, you know, like a normal, Maui grill type stuff. And one of them did this ginger lemonade. And dude, once I discovered that, man, I was drinking like gallons of it. And I'm sure it was just sugar-filled craziness, right?
Probably.
Like, man, that stuff was good. Really good.
Dude, I'll hook you up. Have you ever been to Side of Aloha in Draper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's owned by Nina and Kyle, and Nina's just passionate about food.
Yeah.
Like she won't, like if it's not excellent, she won't make it. She won't even serve it. You know what I mean? And guaranteed she knows how to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, ask her. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I will for sure.
Yeah, if she can make it, she'll get a customer for sure.
Dude, they're the best.
I wanted 5-gallon batches though.
dude, I'll squeeze the lemons for you. Like, I'm in on this. I'm here to help.
Go back to my office and sell it to everybody.
Yeah, Hawaii's a special place for me, man. I've done a lot of healing out there in Hawaii.
Have you? Good.
Yeah, it's just the thing is with that is you have to let it heal you, you know. And I know Tony from Watt had some experiences with it recently. He was texting me about it, but like you have to be open to it, you know. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. If you go to Hawaii and you open your heart to the mana, you know, the power of the islands, like it will go into your heart. It'll heal your spirit. It'll heal your heart. It'll heal your mind, you know, and you just come back renewed. You know what I mean? And I know I was there for a while after a breakup that I had way back when. You know, I was there recently, you know, living on Jeff's farm. Yeah. Trying to heal from some things I was dealing with. Yeah. And each time, you know, if you go there with purpose and intent, you know, it just, man, even things that, like, you know, you don't even know that you don't even know you need healing, you know. So a lot of us go around life and think we're doing great, you know what I mean? But there's always stuff. There's always stuff to work on, you know. And yeah, Hawaii's become a real sacred place for me because of those things. I was in a dark place, man, and it got me out. Yeah. That and my faith when I went there. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, man.
So tell me, start me from the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Murray, Utah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so did you go to high school, Jimmy?
No. So I ended up going to high school in Sandy. So I'm like fuzzy on the details. I know I've asked my mom a bunch, but yeah, it was like Utah and Hawaii and Samoa for the first several years. You know what I mean? And then we're kind of cements into places. I was in Midvale we were in Provo in 3rd grade. And then in 4th grade, I was in Sandy. And that's kind of from 4th grade to high schools is where I grew up, was in Sandy, Utah.
Oh, you locked it in?
Yeah. So
what high school did you go to?
Jordan High. Beat digger, man, for life.
Beat digger, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will sing the fight song if you want. It's.
We'll have to do it later.
Please God, no. I want the podcast to do well.
Verses. Yeah. I'll let you hum it at the end.
Yeah, okay, done.
As we fade to black.
No, wait.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, awesome.
No, that's like way more views.
Yeah. So no, that's cool, dude. That's cool. So why were your parents moving from Hawaii to Samoa to here to?
So we moved to Samoa. I guess the plan was to live there for a while, you know. And man, I was a kid. I was like walking around. You know, we were raising pigs. I would like go in the pig pen and just start picking up trash out of the. And my parents would always grab me out, and I got worms. I was just, you know, it was gross. But yeah, we were there, and just, you know, I think they wanted us to learn the language and the culture and stuff like that. But we ended up leaving because, like, so in Samoa, at least back then, I don't know about now, like teachers could hit the kids, you know, and I was getting my ass beat. I was like a straight A student, but like I was constantly talking in class. You know, I would do the wrong assignment, you know, or I was late. And in fact, I had a friend. His name was Sam, and he was my age, and we were in the same class. And we were running late, and like if we went the normal way down the street, like we were going to be late, but we could take a shortcut through the jungle. And the problem was, if you take a shortcut, there was like wild pigs, like boars, you know. And so we had this like decision to make because we were screwing off, you know, instead of walking to school. Like, all right, so do we want to get chased by the boars but not get beat up by our teachers, or do we want to just go the normal way and get beat up by our teachers? It's like, let's chance it with the boars, man. And so we go through there, and sure enough, they came running. I'll never forget. They're running after us, and we're running full speed, just like, you know. And I dropped my backpack, and you can't go back and get it because those things will tear you up.
Yeah.
And so I got to school without my bag, my books, my homework, and I got beat anyway. I was so mad, so mad. But that's actually why, and my family can correct me if I'm wrong on the details, but my mom found out that I was getting beat up at school, and so, she went and made a fuss about it, and that's why we left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
And did you come back to Utah, or did you go to Hawaii after?
I think we came back to Utah for a little bit, yeah. But then, and then I think Hawaii was in there somewhere after that. And then, we finally settled in Sandy.
Nice. Are your parents still here?
Yeah. My dad's in Bluffdale, and my mom is in Tooele.
Okay.
She actually just went to Hawaii to visit my sister for the holidays. My sister Heather lives out in Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So your parents divorced?
Yeah.
Okay. They also live in separate homes?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how long have you been divorced for?
Most of my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I was a kid. Yeah. They got divorced, and we all the kids, we all dealt with it in different ways. I was the oldest, and so in every culture, like being the oldest comes with certain responsibilities. In Samoa, it's almost like you're an extension of the parent. And I tried to do that a lot, and it wasn't always well received because, we're pretty Americanized growing up here, but also we have a Samoan household, so it didn't always mesh.
Yeah.
Well. But they were divorced most of our lives, but they gave it a good shot for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the hardest part for you?
For me, I don't know how much it affected me, because they didn't really get along very well, and let me just say my parents are great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus I was older, so I got more married years of them married than any of my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, I didn't think it was a totally bad thing that they got divorced. Obviously, ideally, I would have loved them to be in love and stay together forever, but that wasn't the case. I know my brothers and sisters struggled with it more than I did, just not having that cohesive family unit.
Do they still struggle with it, or has most people gotten over it?
I think everyone's over it now. Yeah. It's like my mom and dad can hang out and be fine together now. For a long time actually.
They both get remarried.
They're both single right now still. Yeah. But whenever they're hanging out together, my brother Tyson will film them, and then he'll put love music to it, and then he'll send it to all of us, and we'll just laugh, because there's no way in hell. And we'll just be like, we wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. I had a kind of a traumatic childhood, but I also had the best childhood ever. You know what I mean? So it's like,
No, it's interesting you say that, because I feel like in our day and age, in our age group, right, there's a lot of people who are healing from traumas, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like some people are take this with a pinch of salt, searching for a trauma so that they kind of fit in with people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, we get a lot of significance from our traumas and our bad things that happen,
Yeah.
And I'm learning through this group, and Melissa, she's coaching me right now, which is really cool. You gotta let that go. You can't get your significance from the suck,
Exactly.
because then your life will just suck,
Well, you'll build your personality around it.
Yeah.
And then your personality becomes abrasive with other personalities.
Yeah.
And then you're staring in the mirror thinking why don't I get along with people? Or, you know what I mean? It's well, you could be awesome in certain areas, but you got this big thing that you just can't let go of. You can't progress. You can't move. This is coming from a very unqualified psychiatrist across from me right now.
No, life experience, bro. You're qualified.
Most of my life experience.
You're like the Jordan Peterson of Watt.
Oh, yeah. That is a compliment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of want people, we talked about plant medicine, a few times, me and you, and it's it seems to be really good for people, or any kind of counseling or anything, as long as they decide to let it go.
Right.
Right. You know, like whatever's going on with them. And, you know, me, I'm one of those guys that don't have that much stuff. I don't have that much trauma. My childhood was freaking awesome.
It's awesome.
You know, parents are still together. They've had their rough patches and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. You know, I've been married to one woman for a long time. We've got 3 beautiful kids. Dude, life's pretty good.
It's so cool.
You've seen a peek in it, right?
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah. It's wonderful. Like,
so.
You know, I'm still single. You know, happy. You know, I was lonely for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, came to grips with it. You know, and you know, I'm pretty healthy with it now.
Yeah.
You know, but like, yeah, I see a lot of things that you do in your relationship. Because me, I'm always a fly on the wall. I'm always learning constantly, even just sitting back. You know, I'm observant like you, and you know, there's a lot of things that you do that I will hope to emulate one day. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
You know, a lot of guys in the group. You know, so it's, yeah, I'm glad you haven't had that much stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
me too.
Yeah. You bastard. Yeah. Yeah, I know that I struggled with, because when bad stuff happens to you, you know, you get a lot of attention, you know, and I know I've had, you know, I've been through the ringer, you know, the last few years, you know what I mean? But like now I'm really trying to, like, that happened, but that's not my story. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to just move on from it, you know, and I'll get into my story and I'll share it if it can help somebody, you know, but I'm trying for the first time in my life, you know, through coaching with Melissa and Watt and really just trying to be the next better version of myself. Like I only try to look back on my past if I need to learn from it again, or if I can help somebody, you know, or if I need to just review the lessons, you know what I mean? Other than that, like, your past is pretty much useless because you can't change it, you know? And so, yeah, because if I focus on all of the things that's happened, and this is probably true for everybody, but what I've noticed is, like, my progress slows way down. You know what I mean? I'd rather put my focus on what do I need to do next to get to this place? What do I need to do next to get to this place? Whether it's physically, spiritually, emotionally, you know? And it's cool to be in a place mentally healthy where I can do that. You know, I've struggled with depression for most of my adult life, really bad. And like, part of that healing that I talked about earlier about Hawaii is Hawaii helped me get out of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just, dude, it's the best.
So what's it like being depressed? If you were to explain that to somebody.
Yeah. You know, I'm so grateful not everyone in my family has it, because I know some people do, but my brother's is like, you know, Tyson has tried to talk to me about it. He's like, I just don't get it. I'm like, cool, bro. So, but no, Tyson's a good man. He's a real good man. He's a good brother. That's one thing. Before I answer your question, I do have is my family's great. You know, we're not perfect by any means, but like, we all are so devoted to one another, you know, which is really cool. As far as what depression's like, I almost got to get myself back to where I was. It's probably first and foremost just an overwhelming sense of worthlessness. It was when I was in those really bad moments, and honestly, it lasted for several years and got progressively worse. I was absolutely convinced that I was of no value to my family or to my profession, to my friends. I was convinced even that, like, my friends didn't even really like me. Like, how could they like me if I didn't have any value? You know what I mean? How could my family respect me? I knew they loved me, but like, how could they respect me or even want me around if I didn't provide any value? And you start you hear these voices in your head, and it really, they're all lies. But you believe every single one of them. Everything that gets said, no matter how ridiculous, you believe it. And, so that's kind of the baseline, is just a complete and total lack of value, complete worthlessness. You have nothing to offer the world or anybody you love or care about. And then when that's your baseline, there's not really much to do from there. And so, the next step of that is just apathy. And why do I care to do anything if it's not going to bring value to anybody or anything? You know what I mean? And so there's just apathy. So you just stop caring. For me, I stopped caring about my career, which is tough, I stopped caring about my body. I went from looking like a D1 linebacker to a D1 sumo wrestler, which is still kind of funny. Yeah. And I still have remnants of it. I'm working on it still, still getting out of it. And the apathy is the scariest part. I was so apathetic about my career, my body. I was apathetic about my relationships, and then when that happens, everything just kind of starts to fall apart, and you kind of just lay there and wait to die, and I never want to, I was suicidal, and I don't say that lightly, and it turns a lot of people away, it scares people, but I think it's important to talk about, because guess what didn't happen? I didn't commit suicide. I'm here. And, and there's a lot of people that will probably listen to this that might need to know that they can still be here later. You know what I mean? But so when that apathy gets big enough where you just stop caring, I was never going to commit suicide because I couldn't do that to my family. But I was trying to eat myself to death. And I figured if I just got sick and died, then that would be an acceptable outcome for me for my family to deal with, because I didn't want them to have to deal with me offing myself. It sounds super heavy, kind of is, but
it's okay. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. And so, and that's just kind of where I stayed for years, and I went from 220 pounds to 320 pounds. I went from looking like Ryan Bingham's mini-me to just, bleh, and now suddenly you still have those moments where you want to live, and, you still have your dreams and you still want those things, but it's oh man, look at me. Who's going to want me? Who's going to want me now? And I had all this money that I'd saved up from working hard. I spent it all on family things. I gave it away to people, and so, now I'm broke. I'm suicidal. I'm massively overweight. I'm, and just and so now that baseline of worthlessness drops. So now you're worth less. And then there's the hopelessness. So you've got worthlessness, apathy, and hopelessness. And that's probably where it gets the worst. Because you just have no hope that it's never going to change. Because there will be moments where you're I don't want to be like this. There'll be moments where you try to fight. You'll get up for the first time in 2 months and go to the gym, because that's what you used to do. And you remember doing that when you felt good, and it's, you just it's that little bit of hope that keeps you going, maybe today I won't eat 5,000 calories. I'll just, have some vegetables. I still hate vegetables. I'm getting depressed now talking about eating vegetables.
Don't do that. No, but I think one thing to point out too, right, is when people meet you and know you and known you for a long time, you're a happy guy.
I am a happy guy. I've always been a happy guy.
And that's a choice, right? You choose to be happy when you get around people. I think with depression, and maybe you're saying this, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but it's the moments when you're alone, right? It's the moments when you're reflecting and it's just beating you down inside, right?
It can be worse when you're alone, but it's still when you're with people.
Really?
You put on a mask. It's not as bad because like being around you or whoever, I remember like there were two things that saved me, really. Jimmy called me to be a part of their fantasy football league, and I was laying in bed, and I was crying, and he called me, and nobody knew what I was going through. They were seeing the outward things that would happen because of it. Mm-hmm. But Jimmy called me and I was like, yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be cool. And then I became closer with like Travis Prince and a bunch of other guys, which was really cool. And that was kind of a little bit of a buoy for me. But eventually, if you're not really making an effort and like you have to really try, like that's the thing when you're apathetic, how do you make an effort? I got to the point where I was just like, I don't think I could die again. I'm ready, the second life raft I got, and I, to this day, I know for a fact that it was just a divine life raft from Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? Jimmy had like gotten me tickets to the USC BYU game when Zach Wilson beat BYU. I rushed the field, chaos, awesome. And I ended up running to a buddy that I hadn't seen in 5 years, and he was selling solar for Vivint. He's like, yeah, you should come sell, man. There's so much money. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be nice, I guess, earn some of this money back that I just all threw away. But like, it was that talk of Vivint Solar being a thing that I started thinking about. I was like, it was just in my mind. And then suddenly I get again, I'm in my room, I'm laying in bed. It's the middle of the day. And and I'm just, it's such a crucial moment in my life, so forgive me for, but I get a call from Jeff, who's living in Hawaii, and he's like, hey man, what are you doing? It's Jeff, I was like, oh, I'm just laying here. And, he's like, yeah, I hear you're having a hard time, man. I was like, oh, who told you, He's like, tell you what, I need some help on my farm. He's like, plus Vivint Solar's coming out here. And I was like, oh, Vivint Solar. I just heard about that at the game, and he's like, they want to open up an office. Like, I know you're like one of the best. Like, come help me open this office. We'll work on the farm together and eat some fruit, and I'll help you get back in shape. I told Jeff, I was like, Jeff, like, this is where I'm at emotionally, mentally, everything. Like, I don't know if you want me around. And he's like, I want you around, And so I got down on my knees after that, and I asked God if I should go. And it's the first time I'd prayed in a while. And usually I don't get answers right away. But he, if at all, usually God's just like, go figure it out, bro, And I was just this overwhelming sensation, this feeling deep inside, like, go now. And so, which was really great for me, because the fact that God was talking to me again, or at least that I could hear it, that instilled a lot of hope that had disappeared, like I had talked about. And so literally 5 days later, I was on a plane to Hawaii, and I decided to be intentful and purposeful. It was like, I had two goals. My goal is to get in some better shape. And then my goal is to get closer to Christ. That's it. Whatever happens along the meantime, I don't care about finance or anything. I just need to heal my spirit and my body. And just being out there, I mean, it's Big Island, so there's not really tons of restaurants, right? It's pretty rural. And we just ate from the farm, and I started going to the gym once a week, and then twice a week, and then a few times a week, and I lost 30 pounds while I was out there, and more importantly, I should say, is like inviting Christ to be a part of my life and really like trying to be with him, making an effort, like praying every day, repenting daily, trying to become this vessel that his spirit could dwell within, combined with the mana from the islands, like it was life changing. Suddenly, for the first time in like 8 years, Mark, like I wanted to live, and I knew I could reach my potential and go do it. You know what I mean? And I got home and I was like, it was weird. I came home for my buddy's birthday. You know, I got back to Hawaii after that. And as soon as I got back, I'm literally driving to the airport back to the farm. And I was like, oh, it's time to go home. I did hear what God needed me to do. So it's time to go home. You know, and it was a bumpy, like it wasn't just like, oh, Hawaii, church, yes, I'm better. It was a process, you know what I mean? But like it happened, and then I came home, and you know, and then.
How long were you out there?
Just under a year.
I was gonna say it's a minute, right? Yeah,
it was a minute, but it was amazing. And dude, I'm telling you, man, like it's been humbling. Pride is something I struggle with for some weird reason. You know what I mean? I remember getting my hands in the dirt and planting trees, and not just like picking weeds. And I'm just like, the hell am I doing here? You know what I mean? I remember just being angry, you know, but like, I just like, no, like the one thing I knew is that God wanted me here, you know, and Jeff's the man. I'm going to serve him as best as I can, you know, which my ability to serve then wasn't what it is now, but like I was doing my best, you know, and it was great. Like eventually all I can think about now is getting my hands back in the dirt, you know what I mean? And growing some white pineapples or whatever. And so that's a long answer to say what depression's like, but like, it doesn't stay that way. And now I have, you know, I've seen a therapist, this group, What We Are the They, I've Melissa coaching me, you know, and I've really, you know, I've gotten my head into some good books. I've really tried to like learn the skills to combat that. So, you know, so that when depression comes back, and it will, you know what I mean? And it has one time. Like I haven't had depression since I've been back except for once. And luckily, instead of lasting years, it lasted a month. You know what I mean? And like you can really combat that stuff for anybody who needs it. You combat it with good food, healthy food, working out, you know, a lot of prayer, and, you know, and just good people like you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and just, you know, cause after a while, like having been through it now and having come out of it, like you start to recognize, cause remember those voices I told you about that come in your head? Like you start to recognize those voices and you know that they're liars. And so you're like, nope, you know, and you cut it out, you replace the lie with the truth, you know, and really you just kind of move on. You know, you don't give it any time or real estate in your head. And you just, you know, and that's why those voices exist when you're looking in the past. You got to stay busy. And that's why, you know, like that happened. And hopefully that helps somebody that listens, you know what I mean? But like, that's not my story anymore. My story is what's coming forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't talk there for a minute.
No, it's okay. No, sorry, I talked so much.
No. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad you talked that much about it.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like this life, there's a lot of people say, well, I felt really depressed, and everyone goes, oh, but they don't understand it. You know,
yeah.
Including myself sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I get one-on-one with somebody who tells me they're depressed, I'll dive in with them, obviously, right? That's my personality. But
yeah.
In group settings, it's like, well, what does that mean? You know, like, what's going on? You know, like, what do you need?
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. And I think it's good for people to understand what is really going on.
Yeah.
You know, because you see the outside manifestations of it, right? You know, gaining weight and not caring about things as much and being low and down. And a lot of people, you know, aren't even equipped to deal with that themselves, right? So they have someone else deal with it. It's like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know, then they stop calling people and they stop reaching out. And then which when someone's depressed, they need that, you know, they need the help. They need to know that people out there care about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And mostly they need to know that they belong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. And I guess I would just tell people like you're not your depression. Like don't define yourself by your depression. That's the whole thing is a lie that we just buy into. You know what I mean? And there may be catalysts. Maybe it's environmental. You know, maybe it's situational. Maybe it's hormonal. You know what I mean? Maybe it's all three, like it was with me. You know what I mean? Damn it. But it doesn't mean that you can't get out of it, and it's not the end. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a victim of depression. I'm a victor over depression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and that's why like I went through those health things, you know, recently, you know, with a smile on my face, because like I had nothing to be sad over. You know what I mean? And and even those things were like wrought with miracles. You know, like I wouldn't change my 11 months of COVID or my 8 months after that of relearning how to walk and having an infection. Like I wouldn't change those for anything. You know what I mean? Because of the miracles and the relationship I've developed with God through those. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like those things happen. That's not who I am. You know, again, you got to move on from your story and look forward. Like, and that's what I'm doing. Like, Mark, it's crazy, man. Like, I feel like I've like been born again, or, you know, just like I have like a new life. You know what I mean? Like I'm so grateful. I feel like I'm close to finally getting the life that I've always wanted. For the first time, I'm starting to love myself. A lot of reason of that is because of how you guys have loved me. You know what I mean? Everyone in the group. I will forever be grateful for this group and for Jimmy and for you guys for loving me the way you guys do. I still am uncomfortable with it. I'm still, like when I came to your house the other day, you know, I was like, am I like that with Mark? Can I just show up at his house? You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I sat, yeah, I know, thank you. I know now. Yeah, I know. But I sat on the side of a road. I knew I was by your house, but I couldn't find it, you know? And I'm sitting on the side of the road and I was like, I think I'm just going to go home, you know? And then I remembered me showing up late to the yoga thing, you know, and the cacao thing. And then everyone got pissed at me because I wasn't there. And I was like, no, I belong. I belong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's when I texted you, you know, and then texted Matt. And I went there and just showed him we had a freaking great time and had the best raisin pastries I've ever had in my life. But like worth it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like.
Well, and everyone was better because you showed up too.
Thank you.
Right?
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, dude. You show up, dude. You freaking smiley ass face, and I felt bad because you had texted me, but I was really into the match.
Oh, dude, that's okay.
We were watching the USA.
We call it the game in America.
Yeah. right. And so yeah, but it was funny. You came in and gave me it like broke my concentration for a minute. So I looked at my phone and I saw you. I was like, oh, you're already here. Good.
And then I got that like an hour later.
Yeah, exactly. So no, dude, you always belong, man. That's part of. I don't know what to call it, right? It's hard to define. Once you're in, you're in. You know?
Yeah.
And don't rob yourself of feeling like you belong.
Yeah, and I've stopped. My thought processes have been so toxic for so long with that depression, you know, and then as I've done the work, they're starting to change. I'm rewiring my mind. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, it's hard. Like, you got to do the work. Yeah. You got to get yourself better.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's up to you. You know what I mean? And you don't do it alone. You lean on people. You lean on friendships. You lean on family. You lean on, you know, God, especially God, you know, and you lean on those things. But, like, at the end of the day, like I had to go to Hawaii. Maybe someone else has to go to Hawaii. But, like... Yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool to be, my life is really cool right now. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm gonna be. And that's the first time I've said that to anybody in probably 10 years where I actually believed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cool. It's cool. So
Well, one thing I want to bring up with you that's kind of funny because I'm going to tell you what your future looks like.
Hey, all right, let's do it.
So the yoga thing down in St. George, I wasn't actually there for that. It was a cacao.
Yeah, you were at your son's football game, right?
I had to run home for that.
Yeah.
But I heard all about you there.
Oh, you did?
Oh, of course I heard about it. Now, what happened? Tell me what happened exactly. You had come to the ceremony a little late and the doors were closed, right?
Doors were open.
Oh,
yeah. So
even worse. Tell me what happened.
So I was running late because I was cleaning up from dinner or whatever. I don't know if anyone heard me. Hello.
Yeah.
I was running late from cleaning up. So I got there to the yoga place, and it looked like this big serious thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was. You know, people were having moments.
Yeah.
And I just remember I kind of looked in and I was like, oh, I don't want to interrupt that. You know what I mean? And then I went and just kind of like sat at the table outside the door so I could kind of hear what was going on. And I was like, oh, you know, these guys are doing their thing, you know, and I don't want to interrupt. You know what I mean? And a lot of that's cultural. Like there's a big, you know, I don't know if you know Satem Malae. You should get him on your podcast. We've talked about there's a big cultural thing to, you know, in Samoa where we're warriors, but we're also very like, you know, head down, listen, respectful, help others at all costs. You know what I mean? Like even at our own cost, you know? And that's kind of where I was at. I was just like, these guys have their thing. I don't want to intrude upon their moment by coming in late. And so I just turned the Utah football game on my phone, went in my car and started driving home. You know?
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I started driving back to, I was like, I'm just going to get some sleep because I haven't slept in 3 days, you know? And Jimmy calls me, he's like, hey, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm just driving, you know? And he's like, dude, come. Like I think it was text. And he's like, we need you here. And I'm like, and I haven't told you that I was mad. I was like, I just want to sleep, you know, like, I'd already driven away like 20 minutes, you know? So I'm like, why would, these guys don't need me, you know what I mean? And so I show up and I come in and everyone was happy to have me there. And I got the sense that I really missed something cool. I was really bummed. I was like, damn it, maybe I should have just came in, you know? But like
not maybe.
Yeah, I should have just came in, you know. And I was sitting there, and people are starting to get up and kind of share their experiences, you know. And I'm like, man, this is really cool, you know. And then Jimmy gets up, and then just in true Jimmy fashion, calls me out in front of everybody. He's like, what the F are you doing, not coming in? He's like, you're one of us, you know. Like, get the hell in here, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yeah, he's right. You know, so I don't know what you heard, but that's kind of what.
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
The guys that I speak to in the group consistently have all agreed that if you don't bring yourself in the future, we're going to physically bring you in, Alan. We know each other well enough now that it's like,
we really do.
No more shit.
Yeah.
You're in the group.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want you there, man. We need you there.
Well, see, that was the kind of the mind shift for me since that.
Yeah.
Is that like, you know, I mean, Melissa came up and kind of, she didn't tear me a new one, but she's like, what are you doing? Like, the guys need you here, you know? And me, I'm such a server, you know, I'm a helper, I'm a protector. Like, that's who I am by nature. Like, and that's when I was like, I get it now. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not just, like, it feels great to be wanted too for me, because, you know, after years of feeling not wanted, you know, like, yeah, these guys actually want me here, but like more nobly, they need me here. You know what I mean?
No, our group is a big recipe. It's a big.
It's well said.
Cocktail. You know what I mean? I tell people this all the time because, you know, some people, they get real neutral in life, right? They're like, well, this guy, I love he does this, but then he pisses me off with this. And it's like, you want that.
Yeah.
You want that spice, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy's a good example. We can use Jimmy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy can be polarizing, right?
Oh,
you know?
Big time.
But my thing is, I want him as absolutely polarizing as possible and still become a friend.
Why do you want them that way?
Because I want people authentic, 100% authentic. Right? You're healthy when you're authentic.
Yeah.
You're not healthy when you're not authentic.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a different way of some of the things we've gone through, a different way of saying some of the things that we've talked about in our group. You want people's good and their shit.
Yes.
Right? And have them be authentic with you, because if they're authentic, then they're honest.
Yeah.
Right? And if they're honest, you can trust them.
Yeah.
Right? And so you get into these situations where you're taking these people on, all they're good, all they're bad, and stay the freak out of the neutral. Give me your opinion.
Yeah.
You know? It's why our country's fabric is getting torn into bits, because we all lie.
We all lie.
And we care about stupid, stupid things, right?
We have a tribal mentality.
Yeah. Like we were joking earlier about being president of the United States, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally 85% of this country votes one way no matter what, right? No matter what the people say, no matter what they do, no matter who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so what I want is, in my life and the relationships I have with people, I don't want people not honest with me, right? And that's hard. That brings some responsibility, right? Because when people are honest with you, you might hear some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that's, you know, we're not even friends anymore because shouldn't give too many details or people will figure out who he is. But he, a couple of months ago, we had a meeting with another friend, mediated it, and he just sat there and shit on me, dude, for freaking an hour, right? All the things that bugged him about me, right? And I'm not saying he's right or wrong, you know? Pissed him off at the end, though, because he wanted to hear me say all the stuff that pissed me off, and I said nothing. You know? and that was honest.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's honest, and it's honest.
His life is complicated and messy, but I was very happy to be a participant inside that world.
Yeah,
and because of how the relationship went, you know, he's freed me of that. You know, and that's fine. You know, sometimes you got to close chapters in your life. And I'm kind of saying this down. I'm thinking this will be really funny. Whoever listens to this thinking it might be them, because it's probably not.
No, it is. It is absolutely you.
Yeah.
Whoever is thinking it is.
You know, but I mean, I've been through hard things with friends. I've been through breakups with friends. I've got back together with friends. And, you know, part of being me is I'm easy with a lot of things, but, you know, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to be that person. I'm trying to be my spice.
Right.
And I think when you get that and you understand that about people, you're like, yeah, you don't have to qualify your love for anybody. It's one of those things that I just love that dude, right?
That right there is what makes this group so special.
Yeah.
Because I think we're full of guys that have taken that very thing that you just said, and like we're living it with each other, you know. And I don't know if we live it outside of the group, you know, but most of us probably do, you know. But like in the group, like we've all shared some crazy stuff, mistakes that we've made, sins that we've committed, you know, just like, and we're just like, whoa, you know what I mean? And everyone's just like, cool, I got my shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to love you anyway.
Well, the more honest we are with each other about the stuff we've gone through, the more we realize we're all the same.
Yeah.
We're all trying to be better. And the ones who aren't trying to be better, those are the ones you cast off.
Yeah. But that's what's cool is that, like, we've all come together and we are the they, and we're just trying to be better. We're just a community.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's
powerful.
It's powerful. It's changed my life. It's, dude, you know how stoked I am to be your buddy? Like, like it's cool, man. Like,
well, thanks.
Yeah. And then like everyone else, like, dude, I don't know. I'm just in this weird spot where I get to, sorry, my phone's going off. I set it over there so it wouldn't go off.
Don't worry. No one can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in this weird spot where I get to be friends with all these people that I look up to. You know what I mean? Like, and it's, you know, and weird, I guess they need me and look up to me too, which is a new concept for me, you know?
Well, one beautiful moment we shared together, right, was my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Breakfast. Was that your birthday?
That was my birthday. So,
yeah, same day.
October 18th, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have the same birthday.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, like, she's one of my most precious things, right?
Yes. You're a good,
beyond.
She adores you, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like, did you have a party the night before? Or something, right? I can't remember what the details were. I couldn't come to an event that we were celebrating you at.
Oh, I think it was just like a lunch or something. I don't know. It was dinner. It was dinner. Dinner the night before. Yeah. Okay.
But I wanted to hang out with you, right?
Yeah, we're just cool.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, dude, I'm doing breakfast, and like, you know, we get there. I'm like, hey, it's my daughter's birthday today, and you're like, what the freak, you know? And I could tell that it was nothing for me to go and do that, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, right? But it wasn't like a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then like you were like, hey, thank you for spending time with me on your daughter's birthday. And I'm just like, you're in, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're just part of it. You know, both your birthdays. This is freaking awesome. I get to take my most precious thing, share with a beautiful person that I know, have pancakes, tease the waitress, live in my world, right? Everyone's living in my world.
Right.
And it was beautiful. It was awesome. It was an hour long, no big deal. My daughter felt super special. Meeting people that love me. I'm showing her people that I love. Does it get any better than that?
No.
Did you give her a present better than that?
That's my literal definition of happiness, is bringing people together that I love and then just being with them. Yeah.
Take the moments, man.
Yeah, dude. That's really cool.
So
you're a good man, dude. You're a good man. I'm like, even when he texted me, I was like, well, of course I'm going to be here. Like if Mark asks, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to make that happen.
Yeah.
You know, if you broke down halfway to St. George, it's like, Al, I need to run. All right, I'll be there.
Good.
You know, that's just what happens.
You'd ask the same of me?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, well, I would now.
Good.
I'm starting to realize that, you know. So and it's crazy. Like I'm still on that growth pattern, man. Like it just.
We all are, man.
Like we all are. Yeah. We're together, and like. Life is exciting. Life is really exciting. Like the things that are coming down the line, like what's possible when you actually believe in yourself. You know what I mean? And we actually believe that you're worthy of good things. Mm. You know what I mean? And like I'm there. You know what I mean? You know, so it's really cool.
Good.
It's really cool, man.
Well, hey, it's time to end the podcast.
Oh, dang.
But
okay.
we don't leave because you've heard a couple of these. You got to give us your best 2 minutes of advice.
Best 2 minutes of advice? Oh, best 2 minutes of advice. Okay. After, can we hug in the dark?
Yeah.
Okay. That will not be on the podcast. It's just for us. My best 2 minutes of advice. First and foremost, love one another. Love one another as God has loved you. Second would be to love yourself as God loves you. Try daily to just see yourself how Heavenly Father sees you. Always remind yourself of your value and your worth and who you are, where you come from, your divine origin. And then always draw near unto things that are good. And that might differ for people. For people like Ryan and me, that's the mountains. You know, it's church, you know, family, you know, do things that make you happy. And then if you're struggling, if you're hurting, talk to people, whether it's professional help or if it's just, you know, your friends. If it's your Watt brothers, if it's your parents, whoever you have that relationship with, go talk to them. Don't suffer alone. Nobody in your life wants you to suffer alone. They want to be there for you, you know? And then, yeah, I go figure out what you want and then just go after it. That's the spot that I'm in now, figuring out what I want and going after it. And then just believe that you're going to get it and believe that you're worthy of it. You know, and then again, love one another. There's so much dividing everybody. We're all the same. It's one thing I learned in all my travels all around the world. You know, and I've been all over the world. And you know what I learned? That taxi driver guy that's in Israel, the most abrasive dude I've ever met. You know, our guide in Haiti. Guess what we're all trying to do? We're just trying to provide for our families. Give our kids a better life, you know. Most people are good, you know. So let's just love one another. Let's support one each other. Let's help one another. Care about things that matter, not the stuff that doesn't. And that's what I would say.
Excellent, my man.
Cool, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super dope.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for this to come out.
Really?
Oh, we're gonna get some feedback on this one.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
People will love this, dude. People love you.
Yeah.
So
I love them. And I hope they know it. And I hope they know that I love them. And I haven't got to say thank you. In fact, I haven't had a chance. Do you mind if I?
Yeah. Thank
you for the gift on my birthday, everybody who was part of that. it was very uncomfortable for me, but it was also one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me. And I'm still overwhelmed by it.
Well, for the people who don't know, you got to explain what that was.
So for my birthday, the boys, my fantasy football league, and We Are the They group, Jimmy made a couple calls and they raised $20,000 to get me a new car. So, yeah. And so, dude, guys, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming out of the shit. You know what I mean? But for anyone that's listening, you can too. And I'm literally here now, and that's where I'm going. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. Like, I'm so excited to be alive. You know what I mean? Like, the bad things that happen to you is not your story. They're just lessons. You know, you write your story. You know, you write a comeback story for you, and then you go live it. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. So that's what the gift was. I'm excited. Thank you, everybody. And, you know, go Utes.
Don't call it a comeback, man. You've been here for years.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. Return of the Mac. You know what I mean?
All right, my friend. It's over, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks, bro. I love you, man. Seriously.
Thanks for listening to the President McCormack Podcast, brought to you by McCormack Foundation, Saxton Fund, ADP Lemco, and Professional Floor Systems. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and keep up with Mark on Instagram @President McCormack.